Dawn, late dry season, East African savanna. The air is cool, thin by night, carrying a faint scent of dust and trampled grass. Acacia silhouettes stand motionless against a pale sky, just beginning to lift. In the distance, a low wind moves through the plains, bending seed heads and carrying the distant call of francolin. Silence dominates here, not empty, but watchful. At the edge of a thorn thicket, a shape lies half hidden in shadow, muscles pressed low to the earth, breath measured. The leopard waits, its rosette-patterned coat breaking apart its outline among branches and stone. Above, a forked limb bears the scratches of old climbs, marks left by generations that survived by avoiding attention. Several hundred meters away, the ground opens wide. There is no cover here. A group of lions rest in the open, their forms large and unmistakable. One male lifts his head briefly, scanning the horizon. His mane stirs in the breeze. He does not need concealment. His presence reshapes the landscape by scale alone. Two predators, same land, different rules. Power here is not singular. It is divided, contextual, and shaped by survival. Across sub-Saharan Africa and parts of South Asia, lions, Panther leo, and leopards, Panther apardus, share overlapping ground, yet they occupy it in fundamentally different ways. Both are members of the genus Panthera, shaped by a common evolutionary lineage that favors powerful forelimbs, retractile claws, and skulls adapted for suffocating bites. But divergence begins quickly after that shared ancestry. Their bodies, behaviors, and survival strategies reflect separate solutions to the same ecological pressures. The lion is the only truly social cat. Fossil and genetic evidence suggests that cooperation emerged as an adaptation to open habitats. Grasslands and savannas, where concealment is limited and prey species are large, mobile, and often dangerous. Adult male lions can exceed 190 kilograms, females averaging less but retaining equal lethality. Their mass is not built for stealth over distance. It is built for confrontation. Studies of lion energetics show that cooperative hunting dramatically increases success rates when targeting large ungulates, such as wildebeest, zebra, and buffalo. A single lion may fail often, but coordinated group can bring down animals several times their combined weight. This social structure reshapes the ecosystem. Lions function as apex regulators, influencing prey populations and even the behavior of other predators. Research from the Serengeti and Kruger National Park demonstrates that herbivores alter grazing patterns in response to lion presence, avoiding open areas at night and shifting feeding times. This phenomenon, landscape of fear, has measurable effects on vegetation recovery and nutrient cycling. The lion's role is not defined solely by kills, but by the pressure of its existence. Leopards evolved along a different path. Smaller, more compact, rarely exceeding 90 kilograms. They are built for versatility. Their habitat range is one of the widest of any large carnivore, extending from African savannas and forests to the mountains and mangroves of Asia. This adaptability is rooted in behavior. Leopards are solitary, intensely secretive, and opportunistic. Camera trap studies show them active at all hours, adjusting movement patterns to avoid dominant competitors. Where lions or tigers are abundant, leopards become more nocturnal. Where humans encroach, they slip further into shadow. Their hunting strategy relies on ambush and precision. Leopards favor medium-sized prey, impala, bushbuck, warthog, but dietary analyses reveal extraordinary flexibility. Rodents, birds, reptiles, even insects during scarcity. One of their defining behaviors, documented across Africa and India, is prey caching. By dragging kills into trees or dense cover, leopards reduce the risk of kleptoparasitism from lions and hyenas. This behavior requires immense upper body strength relative to size. Biomechanical studies confirm that leopards can hoist prey heavier than themselves vertically, a feat lions cannot replicate. Environmental pressure shapes these differences. Lions thrive where prey density is high and space allows group living. Their cub survival depends on territory defense, coalition stability, and access to water. Drought years increase cub mortality sharply, particularly in prides with fewer adult females. Leopards, by contrast, show greater resilience to environmental fluctuation. Their solitary nature reduces caloric demand, and their flexible diet allows persistence in degraded or fragmented habitats where lions disappear. In the food chain, both are apex predators, yet their influence differs in scale and texture. Lions impose dominance through presence and force, often displacing other carnivores from kills. Leopards exert influence subtly, threading through ecological gaps, occupying edges, forests, rocky escarpments, and human-altered landscapes. Long-term studies reveal that where lions decline, leopard populations may initially rise, filling some predatory niches until human pressure or overcompetition reasserts limits. These animals do not exist in hierarchy, so much as in parallel. Each is shaped by evolutionary compromise. Strength traded for stealth, cooperation for concealment, dominance for endurance. Where lions and leopards overlap, coexistence is governed not by open conflict, but by spatial negotiation. Ecological studies from East and Southern Africa show that leopards actively avoid areas of high lion density, particularly during daylight hours. GPS collar data reveal movement patterns that bend around lion territories, even when prey is abundant. This avoidance is not incidental. Lions kill leopards, especially cubs and subadults, and documented cases show adult males targeting leopards encountered near kills or water sources. These deaths are rarely driven by competition for food. They are acts of territorial elimination. This pressure has shaped leopard behavior across millennia. Leopards select habitats with vertical escape routes, trees, koppies, steep ravines, features that limit lion mobility. In open plains, leopards retreat to thickets or become transient. In wooded savannas, they persist. Their reproductive strategy reflects this risk. Leopard mothers move cubs frequently, often every few days, to reduce scent accumulation and detection by larger predators. Mortality studies indicate that infanticide by lions and hyenas accounts for a significant percentage of cub loss in lion-dense regions. Lions, by contrast, invest heavily in territory defense. A pride survival depends on control over space rather than concealment within it. Male coalitions patrol borders, scent marking and roaring to broadcast ownership. These vocalizations can travel several kilometers, serving as both deterrent and declaration. Acoustic research has shown that rival males assess coalition size through roar patterns before deciding whether to challenge. The cost of miscalculation is severe, injury or death, yet the reward is access to breeding females and hunting grounds. The lion's social system carries inherent instability. Male tenure is finite, often lasting only 2 to 3 years. When a coalition is displaced, incoming males frequently kill dependent cubs to bring females back into estrus. This behavior, brutal but evolutionarily advantageous, accelerates genetic turnover. Population models demonstrate that cub survival is highest in stable prides with experienced females and strong male coalitions, and lowest during periods of territorial upheaval. Leopards avoid this volatility by remaining solitary. There are no territorial coups, no mass infanticide events. Females raise cubs alone, teaching them hunting skills over an extended developmental period. Studies using long-term observation and camera traps show that leopard cubs stay with their mothers for up to 2 years, learning prey selection, stalking technique, and escape routes. This prolonged learning phase produces highly competent, adaptable adults. In regions where prey density drops, competition intensifies. Lions respond by expanding territory or increasing scavenging, often targeting the kills of other predators. Leopards respond by further narrowing activity windows and shifting prey size downward. Dietary overlap studies show that in stressed ecosystems, leopards consume a higher proportion of small mammals, while lions experience increased starvation risk due to their reliance on large prey. Human pressure adds another layer. Lions require large, contiguous landscapes and suffer population collapse when corridors are broken. Leopards persist closer to human settlements, sometimes preying on livestock or feral animals, leading to conflict but also survival. This adaptability has allowed leopards to outlast lions in many historical ranges, including parts of North Africa and the Middle East. Within the same ecosystem, these two predators do not compete for dominance in a singular sense. They represent different evolutionary answers to the same question: how to remain lethal, fed, and reproductively successful in a landscape that offers no guarantees. Survival biology defines the first and most decisive contrast between lion and leopard. The lion's physiology is optimized for short bursts of extreme exertion followed by long periods of rest. Muscle fiber analysis shows a dominance of fast-twitch fibers, enabling explosive power during a chase or takedown, but at high energetic cost. Lions sleep or rest up to 20 hours a day, conserving energy for coordinated hunts that may only succeed once every few attempts. Their survival strategy is collective efficiency, many mouths, one kill. When prey is abundant, the system thrives. When prey declines, the cost of size and numbers becomes a liability. Leopards operate under a different metabolic logic. Their smaller body mass lowers daily caloric requirements, and their musculature supports repeated ambush attempts rather than singular, high-risk confrontations. Field studies indicate that leopards hunt more frequently than lions, but with smaller prey, spreading risk across time. Failure carries less consequence. This strategy produces resilience under fluctuating conditions, drought, prey migration, or human disturbance. Hunting and defense form the second angle. Lions hunt primarily through cooperation, using encirclement and exhaustion. Females initiate most hunts, coordinating silently in low light. Males contribute less frequently, but dominate carcasses once prey is subdued. Defense is overt and aggressive. Lions face threats directly, rival coalitions, hyenas, even buffalo, and rely on numbers and intimidation. Injury rates are high. Skeletal analyses of wild lions show a prevalence of heel fractures and bite wounds, evidence of repeated violent encounters. Leopards hunt alone, relying on concealment, terrain, and surprise. Their approach is patient and precise, often ending within seconds of contact. Defense is avoidance. When confronted by larger predators, leopards retreat or abandon kills rather than engage. This strategy reduces injury risk. Necropsy studies show fewer traumatic injuries in adult leopards compared to lions, contributing to longer average lifespans in the wild. Intelligence and instinct form a third perspective. Lions demonstrate social cognition, recognizing coalition members, coordinating movement, responding to vocal cues. Their intelligence is expressed collectively. Leopards display spatial and situational intelligence, route planning, memory of escape paths, timing activity to avoid competitors. Their cognition is solitary and adaptive, shaped by constant risk assessment. A fourth angle lies in moral neutrality. Neither animal dominates by virtue or weakness. Lions kill leopard when opportunity allows, not from malice, but from evolutionary advantage. Leopards avoid lions not from fear, but from efficiency. Nature does not assign rank. It enforces consequence. These perspectives do not crown a victor. They reveal parallel strategies, each effective within its own constraints, each vulnerable outside them. Parenting and social structure offer another lens. Lion reproduction is embedded in the group. Cubs are born into a shared space, nursed communally, guarded collectively. This system increases survival against smaller threats, but exposes cubs to catastrophic loss during pride takeovers. Long-term field data from Amboseli and Serengeti show that entire cohorts can disappear within weeks when new males arrive. The strength of the lion's social system is also its fragility. Stability protects many. Instability destroys many at once. Leopard parenting is solitary and concealed. Females give birth in caves, dense thickets, or rocky crevices, often far from habitual travel routes. Cubs are moved repeatedly to reduce detection. There is no communal defense, but there is also no mass vulnerability. Losses occur one at a time. Observational studies indicate that leopard mothers adjust hunting frequency and prey size during cub rearing, favoring safer kills over optimal caloric return. Survival here is incremental, cautious, and prolonged. Rival species and interspecific pressure form a fifth angle. Lions dominate most large carnivores through size and coalition strength. Hyenas challenge them directly, sometimes successfully through numbers. Leopards exist lower in this competitive hierarchy, subordinate to lions, hyenas, and in Asia, tigers. Their response is not confrontation but compression, retreating into temporal, spatial, and dietary margins. This compression is not weakness. It is persistence under pressure. Ecologists describe leopards as edge predators, thriving where competition forces specialization. Finally, the question of kingship dissolves under ecological scrutiny. Dominance is situational. In open plains, lions reshape the system. In broken terrain, forests, or human-altered landscapes, leopards endure where lions vanish. One rules by force and visibility, the other by absence and continuity. Both persist not because they are superior, but because they fit. These angles converge on a single truth. Power in nature is not absolute. It is conditional, negotiated, and temporary. Late afternoon, the heat loosens its grip, and movement returns to the land. Shadows lengthen across a shallow drainage line, where acacia roots fracture the soil. This is a convergent zone. Prey paths, predator territories, intersecting need. A lioness breaks from the pride and moves downslope, alone. Her gait is economical, head low, eyes fixed on a small group of impala grazing near the edge of cover. She has hunted here before. The wind favors her. Each step shortens the distance, compressing time toward a decision. Unseen above, a leopard lies draped along a thick branch, body aligned with a limb, tail hanging motionless. Beneath the tree, the remains of freshly killed impala are wedged into the fork of the trunk, secured against gravity and scavengers. The leopard is fed well. Muscle fibers in its shoulders still carry the strain of the climb. The lioness closes in. The impala bolt, scattering in explosive arcs of motion. The hunt collapses in seconds. Dust rises and settles. The lioness lifts her head and scents blood. She follows the trail to the tree. The carcass is out of reach. Her body mass works against her here. She circles, testing angles, jaws snapping once in frustration. The leopard does not move. Studies show that leopards remain still in these moments, relying on immobility rather than flight. Motion invites detection. The lioness sits back, assessing. A single lion cannot dislodge a leopard from a secure height without risking injury. She waits, hoping hunger will force a mistake. Minutes stretch. Heat radiates upward from ground. Flies gather. Then another lion appears. And another. The dynamic shifts. Cooperation, even without coordination, changes the calculus. One lion rears up against the trunk, claws scraping bark. The tree shudders. The leopard tenses. Its options narrow. This is a turning point nature often imposes. Not through combat, but through pressure. The tree sways again. Bark fractures under repeated impact. The leopard's muscles tighten. Forelimbs gripping the branch with control force. Its heart rate rises, measurable in such moments by accelerometer data from collared individuals. Sharp spikes that signal imminent decision. Remaining still is no longer concealment. It is entrapment. One lion positions herself at the base, eyes locked upward. Another circles wider, anticipating escape. This is not coordinated planning in the human sense, but emergent behavior shaped by repeated success. Lions learn spatial pressure through experience. Trees that once offered safety become liabilities when numbers increase. The leopard drops. The descent is vertical and abrupt. 4 meters in less than a second. Limbs absorb impact. The cat does not run forward. It pivots instantly, redirecting momentum toward dense brush where branches knit close to the ground. This choice reflects documented leopard escape behavior. Short, explosive sprints into obstructed terrain, rather than long chases across open ground. The lions react. One lunges, closing distance, but the leopard's acceleration exceeds theirs over short range. Studies comparing sprint dynamics show leopards reach peak velocity faster, though they cannot sustain it. The gap narrows, then widens again as thorns and fallen limbs fracture pursuit lines. A paw strikes flank fur, not flesh. Contact, but not control. Within seconds, the leopard vanishes into a maze of shadow and vegetation that lions rarely penetrate alone. The pursuit ends. The lions stop panting, heat dissipating through open mouths. They do not follow further. Injury risk outweighs reward. The carcass remains in the tree, lost to both. For the leopard, the cost is immediate and lasting. The kill represented days of energy. Losing it forces another hunt sooner than optimal. Energy budgets tighten. Risk increases. Yet survival is intact. No bones are broken. No tendons torn. For the lions, the moment passes without consequence. Their size buffers loss. They will hunt again as a group before night fully settles. This is the climax as it unfolds in the wild. No victor crowned, no opponent destroyed. Only pressure applied, resisted, and released according to physics, instinct, and constraint. Night settles fully now, bringing cooler air and a reordering of priorities. The leopard moves cautiously through dense cover, muscles still carrying residual tension from the escape. GPS tracking studies show that after such encounters, leopards reduce movement for several hours, sometimes for an entire night. Energy conservation becomes critical. Without the cash kill, caloric deficit begins immediately. The leopard will need to hunt again sooner than planned, increasing exposure to risk. Physiological stress responses follow predictable patterns. Elevated cortisol levels, inferred from scat hormone analysis, persist after predator displacement events. These hormones sharpen alertness but suppress long-term processes such as growth and reproduction. A single encounter rarely determines fate, but repeated losses accumulate. In lion-dense regions, leopards show lower average body mass and reduced reproductive success compared to populations in areas with fewer dominant competitors. The lions regroup as darkness spreads. Their failure to secure the carcass carries little long-term impact. A pride's hunting success is probabilistic. One loss is absorbed by scale. Later that night, coordinated movement resumes, directed toward more open ground where their advantage returns. Motion-triggered camera studies show that lions increase hunting activity after unsuccessful encounters, not through frustration, but through metabolic necessity. Hunger recalibrates behavior quickly. Over weeks and months, such interactions shape space use. Leopards shift core areas incrementally, favoring steeper ground, thicker vegetation, or zones closer to human activity, where lions are less tolerant. Lions reinforce dominance through repeated presence, scent marking, and incidental encounters rather than sustained pursuit. This spatial segregation reduces direct conflict while maintaining hierarchical pressure. Ecologically, these dynamics ripple outward. Leopard prey species experience localized release when leopards are displaced, while lion prey patterns remain largely unchanged. Vegetation structure, seed dispersal, and smaller predator activity respond subtly to these shifts. No single moment alters the system, but accumulation does. This is aftermath in nature, not resolution, but adjustment. Over longer timescales, the consequences extend beyond individual animals. Population studies across East and Southern Africa show that where lion densities remain high, leopard populations persist but thin, occupying peripheral habitats rather than central plains. Their numbers stabilize at lower thresholds, shaped by avoidance rather than direct mortality alone. This pattern is consistent across protected reserves and unfenced landscapes, suggesting a deeply rooted ecological rule rather than a local anomaly. For lions, dominance carries its own cost. High energetic demand ties survival to the availability of large prey and water. During prolonged droughts, lion populations decline sharply, cub mortality rises, and prides fragment. Historical data from Tsavo and Wang document periods where lion numbers fell by more than half following multi-year dry cycles. Leopards, during these same intervals, often maintain steadier numbers, buffered by dietary flexibility and reduced group dependence. In areas where lions disappear, due to habitat loss, persecution, or prey collapse, leopards expand rapidly. This expansion is well documented in regions of West Africa and parts of India, where leopards now function as the largest remaining carnivore. Their behavior shifts accordingly. Activity becomes more diurnal, prey size increases, and territorial boundaries widen. Yet even in these contexts, leopards do not become lions. They remain solitary, concealed, and selective. Ecological roles expand, but identities persist. The balance between these predators illustrates a principle observed repeatedly in wildlife biology. Systems are regulated not by singular supremacy, but by overlapping constraints. When one pressure eases, another intensifies, often human-driven. Leopards that move closer to settlements encounter new risks: conflict, poisoning, road mortality. Survival trades one threat for another. Documented long-term outcomes show no final equilibrium, only oscillation. Dominance shifts with climate, land use, prey migration, and human tolerance. The lion's reign is powerful but geographically fragile. The leopard's endurance is quiet but widespread. Neither animal alters the system alone. Together, through competition and avoidance, they structure predator hierarchies, prey behavior, and ecological flow. Their relationship is not a rivalry-seeking conclusion, but a tension maintained over evolutionary time. In the end, the question of who is king dissolves beneath observation. The lion dominates by presence, by sheer force, by the ability to shape open landscapes through collective action. Its shadow stretches across the plains, tangible in both prey behavior and the flow of the ecosystem. The leopard endures by absence, by subtlety, by the capacity to survive where force cannot reach. Its rule is quiet, measured, persistent. Nature offers no crown, no judgment, no singular authority. Power is conditional, situational, temporal, negotiated in shadow and sun. Every chase, every escape, every meal lost or gained is neither triumph nor defeat in moral terms. It is survival, calibrated by environment, physiology, and instinct. The lion and the leopard are both sovereigns of their niches, each supreme within its domain, yet constrained by the other, by prey, and by circumstance. As night deepens over savanna, the land holds both their traces, the paw prints pressed in dust, the scratch marks on trees, the faint scent of blood and fur. Life continues, in different perception of kingship. In their persistence, we glimpse a broader truth. Survival in the wild is neither just nor cruel. It simply is. And in that relentless balance, endurance becomes its own quiet majesty.